Mike Bailey, a pioneer of the Gulf Coast wine scene, an award-winning food entrepreneur.
I know a lot of you wondering what to do with your moon pies. Well, I've got some wine suggestions for you. Lemon moon pies, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, or Pinot Grigio.
Stuart Rebs Donald, acclaimed food and travel writer and world-class chef.
I was chef de casserole. I made the casseroles in the frozen food department.
For more than a decade, they've combined their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or ought to know. 4-time Taste Award finalists, 13-time Nappy Award losers. The dynamic duo of dining. Drop, keep screaming for more. Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Well, yes, that wine, Spolioli, drinking wine. I don't think I've ever had any Spolioli, but hey,
If you did, they probably got an ointment to get rid of it.
it probably, and there's probably an app for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the Sip and Chew Show with Mike and Stu. I'm Mike, he's Stu. We're here to entertain you today and educate you as well.
Everybody's here. We're all doing
But Stu, I have a question right off the bat. Right off the bat, I got a question for you.
I didn't do it, and if I did, you can't prove it.
And we talked about this a little this morning on the way here. Can you taste it?
Can I feel that nip in the air?
Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Can you hear it? We're less than 5 weeks away.
We're less than 24 hours from players hitting the field. Practice starts this week in Southeastern Conference.
The poor boys. It'll be so hot. But you know what? When I was young and I played football, I could take it. Back then I could take it. Didn't think about it. But anyway, I can just hear it now, and I can't wait. Less than 5 weeks before Alabama and Florida State play. Who y'all playing?
Playing at Baylor.
Okay. Ooh, big conference.
Waco, the mid-12.
The mid-12.
Yeah. And there's 16 teams in it.
Okay, that's a lot.
In the conference. Every one of them is good. None of them are great.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Big Ten, where you've got 4 or 5 that are, you got 2 that are great, 3 or 4 that are good, and the rest of them are all garbage. It's the bottom half of the Big Ten, of the 15 or 16 teams in the Big Ten. None of these other conferences can count. Have you noticed that? The Big 12 has 16 teams. The Big 10 has 18. The Pac-12 has 2. They can't count. But most of the Big Ten is absolute garbage. They are lower than Vanderbilt when Vanderbilt is normal.
Yeah.
They're worse than that. Rutgers, I mean, seriously? You went and brought them into your league that already had Illinois in it and Indiana.
Somebody had to.
Yeah, that's right. But look, I'm bringing this up for a reason.
Oh.
Because I know that you've already lined up or going to line up guests.
Yeah, and I need your help as an Alabama fan. I told you that. Look at your schedule. What are the destinations Alabama's going to? Do y'all play at Texas this year? You don't even know.
I don't know.
You call yourself a fan.
Right? I know the week before it happens. No, I don't know.
That makes it hard to plan things.
Yeah, it does, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, by the way, they have an educational system at Alabama too.
Not much of one, no. No, if you look at the rankings in Forbes and other, it's not good.
I don't believe that stuff anyway. I don't read that stuff.
They are a top 25 law school.
Yes, that is true.
And
somebody's got to keep that football team out of trouble.
And medical school.
And the basketball
like
team.
a sandwich this morning, Mike.
But no, Stu has lined up some pretty good guests that we're gonna.
Ali Khan,
we're gonna be
network.
We're gonna be
tell us about where to go in Waco, Texas, for that first week.
Okay.
And then on down the road, when Auburn goes to Norman, Oklahoma for the first time, my good friend Ralph McKenzie's going to come on. Ralph is the head coach of the Oklahoma City roller derby. Is that what it was?
Roller derby?
Yeah, roller derby too.
Wow.
He's the head coach out there. That he and I worked together years ago, and he's a Oklahoma graduate. I have been to a lot of Oklahoma games thanks to Ralph. the first game we go to, and I forget who they were playing. And he goes, "So what do you think of our stadium?" I go, "Man, this is a nice little stadium." He goes, "What do you mean little, man? It seats like 69,000. I said, "Wait till next week when we're in Auburn." And he saw Auburn. He's like, "Holy cow!" And I said, "That's the 6th largest stadium in the conference." I said, "There's 5 schools in this conference with stadiums bigger than this." Yeah. So it was number 10 in the nation, number 6 in the SEC.
Well, we don't have our buddy John Gibson at Auburn anymore.
No, he's out on the Atlantic coast working on one of the islands.
Isn't that great?
I'd like to go out there. Near, what is that? Oh, there's a wonderful state or national park. It's an island off the coast of Georgia.
Oh, Amelia Island?
No. This whole thing's a park.
Okay.
You can't live there.
Yeah.
And there's one building on it was built by the Vanderbilts, I believe, or something like that, and they use that as a hotel. But that's it. If you stay overnight, you got to pitch a tent.
Oh wow.
And it also has wild horses on the island.
Oh, that island.
Yeah. But it is the
that was Amelia.
largest undeveloped island on the eastern seaboard. It's undeveloped. Amelia Island is developed.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the only way to get to it is by boat or swim. And a lot of people kayak to it. But he's like one island north.
Sears?
No,
No,
it's
Sears
a national park. I mean, it's the name of it is National Park.
So national park.
Cumberland, I believe it's Cumberland Island National Park.
Yeah, I've seen their commercials where they talk about come to the Carolinas and they show the horses running along the beach and wild and free.
Yeah, that's probably 400 miles from where we're talking about.
Well, this one is in Searsport, Maine, so this is the largest undeveloped island on the eastern seaboard. So that's what I looked up. So.
Yeah, Cumberland Island is in Camden County, Georgia, but it's all in the Atlantic Ocean.
Cumberland, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's just north of the Florida state line.
Okay.
Closer to Jacksonville than anything. And
that's why I got mixed up with.
Yeah, he's in the. That is a place that I wanted to go. Well, Cumberland Island is a barrier island off of Georgia's southeast coast, with protected beaches and a maritime forest. The Dungeness ruins are the remains of a mansion built by Thomas Carnegie, the brother and partner of steel tycoon Andrew Carnegie. Georgian revival stuff.
Carnegie.
I believe it was Carnegie.
No, actually it's
Carnegie is what we've always said.
Yeah.
Then I hear it's we pronounce a lot of things wrong in this country because the media gets it wrong, and then we never correct ourselves. But I have heard people in New York always go Carnegie.
Oh.
But yeah, I grew up here in Carnegie too.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I go with Carnegie just because we can kill 30 seconds worth of it. And it's a simple room. There's a simple one-room First African Baptist Church on the north end of the island. That's the only.
I think that's one of the things that stood out in my memory. Yeah, that's a good reminder of that.
Yeah.
They've done some filming there
Mm-hmm.
on certain documentaries that I've watched. Yeah.
Yeah. I think part of the Legend of Bagger Vance was filmed on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was actually set. Was that in Georgia or South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike knows this. For a while, I managed the Mama Goldbergs up in Saraland. I was trying to help the owner out. And one day, the TVs that were in there, this elderly gentleman came over and asked me to change the channel on one TV because he didn't think it was appropriate for his grandchildren to see. The channel he wanted changed was the golf channel.
Wow.
And they were showing the Legend of Bagger Vance. And he just had an issue with the people that were starring in the movie.
Right.
Yeah. So I just turned the TV off so his grandkids couldn't watch anything. That's
the best way anyway.
I thought it was a horrible request to make. It wasn't a regular. They weren't somebody that came in. They may have just been traveling. Sure.
Those are the ones that do that.
Yeah. So I was, I'll make this simple. It's the golf channel. If you're offended by that, then you get blank screen. That's all I can do for you. I mean, everything else on cable is going to be worse than the golf channel. I can assure you.
Yeah.
So y'all just stare at a black screen. For
what do you do at home? Were you from Pennsylvania? There's a lot of.
I did not look to see if there was a horse and buggy out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning just that. I mean,
251-343-0106 if you want to get in on the conversation.
Wow. Yeah, I dated a girl from company, and her folks were Presbyterian. And I didn't realize what it was. Denomination was Presbyterian. But
Dalton Orwig here with Desi Tobias for another
television
edition of Law 251 with
They just
Tobias
listen to
and
radio.
Comer Law. Let's talk golf carts in roadways. They can be dangerous, not just for those who are in the golf carts, but
I think
also
they
the
were the
vehicles
more
nearby.
less
They are.
progressive
They're more
of the
prevalent
two.
now. You see them
Progressive
everywhere. You have to be
Presbyterian,
aware when you're driving in one that they
Basically,
usually ejected.
I had a,
crash
I
wells.
think it's a
If they're
girl,
on the
real pretty
roadway,
redheaded
they
girl,
can't
beautiful.
do that. They only
Yeah,
go about
milky,
25 miles an
beautiful
hour.
skin.
So you're necessarily
father
going
was
to
a
pass them.
minister
There could
at
be
a,
passing zone. You have to take
holiness
great
church.
care when you see
They didn't have
to make
TV.
sure that the coast is clear. There
They
are
didn't have,
things
they
to
didn't
be
believe in
aware of.
luxuries, but their house was fine. All the furniture was fine. They all drove brand new cars.
They have a case involving something like this. They can get a lot
But
more
no
information
TV.
online at TobiasComerLaw.com.
yeah, I didn't argue with it.
For
I just,
consultation. Correct. They can call us at 251.
There was a whole string on Twitter this week about how overrated all of the foods in Pennsylvania are. From Nancy Brothers sandwiches, which are garbage, some other stuff. And I said, if you have it, well, like everyone else in Pennsylvania, she'd be wrong, because everyone that goes to Pennsylvania goes, I don't know what you people are bragging about, just suppose scrap was the other, which is this fried. It's like the parts that aren't good enough for Spain. Tree rejected these pieces.
that's a scary thought. The parts that aren't good enough for spam. You know?
And I said, and I just said, you know, anything that is from Pennsylvania that doesn't include the word Dutch is overrated. But the Pennsylvania Dutch baked goods and the Amish dairy products, phenomenal.
It's like where my kids are living,
Yes, you should be
they
reading
have
the
all
Call
this there.
News.
Mhm.
Since it was published in
Somewhere on Bowling Green
1897, the Call
Glasgow.
News has reported
When
on
they go
the
and
issues
get
that matter to the people
Bowling,
of South Alabama,
applesauce,
and continues to be ranked
breads.
as one of Alabama's
the
best
applesauce.
weekly newspapers.
Unbelievable.
You ever go hang out with snake hammers?
Many grocery and convenience stores in
Lots of
South
churches up
Alabama, including
Tennessee,
Walmart,
here,
Rouse's,
Kentucky,
and
North
Circle
Alabama,
K. And
and
if your
the poison
favorite store
snakes
doesn't
during
have it,
their
let us know, and we'll
church
make it
services. It's
available.
the sign of faith.
If you want the Call News.
Well, I believe the
to your
best thing out of
phone, we can do
Pennsylvania
that
is
too.
the,
For less
it's
than
Yingling.
$1 per week.
Is what?
Yingling.
Today, 251-866-5998.
Beer.
Oh,
It's the only American-owned beer. Major brewery.
TheCallNews.com.
Yeah, the Belgians buy Budweiser, get nothing but improved Budweiser,
Hey,
because
brother,
they
so
ain't
you
nothing
go.
but garbage.
It's still crap.
He's not going state by state. What would be, you know, best dish, best drink?
If you are
Yeah.
veteran struggling with depression, anxiety,
Talk about
or
that.
need someone to talk to, call
talk about that.
800-273-8255.
Wouldn't be
Press 1.
too
It's
depressing
private
talking
and
about
free
Nancy
24/7.
Bourdain and Nancy
Call
Bourdain.
800-273-8255 or
You can
visit
also do burgers.
vetsforhelp.com. Sponsored by the Partners of
You know
Alabama's
any?
Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
Oh. I had looked this morning.
On FM Talk 106.5.
All right, so Mike has put it on the table that perhaps we should get a little deep and introspective in this next segment.
Yeah.
But
Deep and
for those who haven't heard the news, what I feared from the moment it was announced came out that Ann Burrell was the victim of suicide.
Yeah.
I do not know whether it was intentional or unintentional, as it was a toxic mix of chemicals that caused it, alcohol, and a number of different drugs in her system. And Chris Sherrill, a good buddy of ours, who now works for Cisco, doesn't do the chef life anymore, has a quality of life, has a family, has all the support that you need when you're in a high stress, difficult job, shared a post from another chef that I have shared on our Facebook page that details what life in the kitchen is actually like. Food Network is nothing like the actual job. That's why a lot of people went to culinary school. And one of the things they point out is the problem is culinary school. When you go in and every kitchen is wonderfully air conditioned and you can wear long sleeve clothing all year long and be comfortable and everything's clean and pristine, and then you get to the restaurant in the real world and It's not like my station at Butch's. It's 100 degrees where I
It's
stand,
small.
regardless.
Yeah.
My particular station is 20 degrees warmer than any place else in the restaurant.
You're right there by the.
I'm on top of the
grills,
grill.
Yeah.
And it's, that's a physical drain. People who work outside understand that work in the direct sun, but they only have to deal with it 3 months out of the year. When you work in a restaurant, you deal with it 12 months out of the year. It's
Right.
like working in July, 12 months out of the year, indoors. There's only so much an air conditioner can do with that much heat being produced in a
Right.
small place. And a
And heat
lot of
rises.
places don't care.
Yeah.
Modern restaurants have 2 different air conditioners. There's one for the dining room, one for the kitchen.
Quick
But
question.
you can't, to set the air conditioning in the dining room so that the kitchen isn't unbelievable, you'd have to have it 65 degrees in the dining
Wow.
room. And
My question is, with those huge fans,
Mhm.
air's got to go somewhere. So obviously, and heat rises. I mean, you would hope that some of that heat
it
would
does
go
that,
out,
but
it
you
doesn't.
that also creates a vacuum that would keep you from being able to open the front door to the restaurant. So there's air return flow,
Okay.
and it blows right back on the cooks.
Ah,
So it takes all that hot air that's rising up, circulates
right
it,
back
blows
at
it
you.
right back on.
you.
Yeah, and you have to have that because I think Mike saw it a few times. If I didn't have my windows cracked at least a little bit at the mac and cheesery, when I turned the hood vent on, you couldn't open the door.
Right.
It
Just
created
that vacuum.
Yeah.
because the health department required a massively overpowered hood vent for each one of those kitchenettes because they didn't know what equipment was going to be in it. So they had it set up for the possibility of all equipment that it could handle everything, which is kind of one of the things you have to do when you don't know what's going to be in a space.
Kind of standardized. Yeah.
Right. But back to what we were talking about, there's the heat in the kitchen, there's the UV light, but which, you're sitting under one right now,
Yeah.
but you've also got natural light pouring through this window.
Hmm.
When you work a 12-hour day and all you have is fluorescent light, your skin's going to pay the price for it. Look in the grocery store. When you go to the meat section, if you see meat that is gray,
Okay.
there's the only thing that caused that is the ultraviolet light coming from the fluorescence.
Really?
Yes, that's what causes it. Gray does not mean meat is bad. It has nothing to do with the quality of the meat. It's either exposure to oxygen if the plastic gets
Mhm.
broken, but more than likely it's from the UV light.
A lot of
Human
lot of
beings-
wines.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. A lot of wines are in green or brown bottles to help
Deflect that.
deflect the light.
Ultraviolet
from the
light is very
fluorescent.
powerful stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
but you're under that.
I've heard
So-
that before.
Yeah, so you're in a 100-degree atmosphere with horrible lighting. So physically, you're already under duress. As an industry, the restaurant industry ignores federal labor laws that mandate a break every 2 hours. You don't get breaks in the restaurant industry unless you're a smoker. And that's why a lot of people turn to smoking. Let me go grab a cigarette.
Hmm.
For no other reason than if they don't smoke a cigarette, they don't get to take a break. My kitchens, I don't allow you to smoke. Just you're not a smoker from the time you clock in to the time you clock out. Now, if you need to take garbage out or break down boxes, feel free to grab a smoke, but in no time are you ever allowed to go outside to smoke a cigarette. It's whether you're a cook, a server, I don't allow it. You don't have a legal right to smoke at work. I understand that the toxins inside of it creates an addiction. You go into detoxification after 3 hours. I'm sympathetic to that. So you break down all the boxes, you take out all the garbage. Grab a smoke while you're out there, but you don't get paid to smoke. But most places don't have that policy. I'm a jerk like that. I admit it, but it's my kitchen. I run the kitchen.
Right.
These are the rules.
But in a good kind of way.
My
Right,
house,
right,
my rules.
Right. And also, and I have fought this at every corporate restaurant I've ever worked in. I'm a non-smoker. At no time am I going to go out and police cigarette butts out of the parking lot.
Right.
That's where your smokers go, And when I've served, I don't serve in the smoking section. I'm not a smoker. You put the smokers in there. Well, corporate restaurants tell you never want to put the smokers in the smoking section because it just makes them DT more. I don't care. I don't want cancer from third-hand smoke, second-hand smoke. So these are all the things that build up to it. And then Chris pointed out because Chris and I have had a lot of conversations, between the two of us, a lot of chefs do, about you're constantly under pressure, especially if you're a chef in the public eye like Chris was, and like I have been at times in my career. What's the next big thing? What are you going to come up with next? What's the next appetizer? What's the next big dessert? What's the next entree? It's constant.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same kind of pressure that actors and musicians feel.
I was about to say.
The difference is actors and musicians make $5 to $10 million a year, and a chef makes $36,000. Quit making those demands if you're not going to pay for it. And it's a pressure cooker, all of it. Customers have bad days, and they come in and they just want a good meal, something to make them feel better, and we want to give them that. That's the heart of everyone that works in the kitchen, is we want to feed people who are hungry. And I've always heard people talk down about the profession, and I'm like, I'm sorry, being a cook is just as noble as being a cop or someone in healthcare or a teacher. Teachers feed our minds. We feed the actual body. Name me something more noble than feeding someone who's starving. And that's the heart of what we are. Alex Naiman used to speak of it. Everyone in our industry must have a servant's heart. You have to want to serve.
Yeah.
Well, because we have a servant's heart doesn't mean you treat us like your servant.
Right.
The title is server, not servant.
Right.
And I was at a restaurant yesterday, and the kids, they had a bunch of wild kids and everything. But when they left, the server went, I love it when families do this. And they had stacked all their plates up and gathered all their trash together. And I told her that I worked at a restaurant in Nashville that had a corner we called the L from Hell. It was 4 booths, but the last one was around the corner, so it fell into an L. The first 2 were standard 4-seat booths. Then the next one was a 5-seat. And then when you turn the L, it was a 7-seat booth. Well, guess who always wanted those booths?
Families.
The 2 mothers that were at the mall. It was a restaurant in a mall who had 5 kids with them. And there were crackers on the table for salads. And the reason no one wanted to work this section was all these mothers came in and said, y'all play with the crackers. And they would just destroy all of the crackers, just squeezing them. And there's crackers everywhere. And then they'd ask for more crackers because they didn't have enough to crack. They wanted more crackers, and no one wanted these tables because of this very thing. These mall moms, it's not all mothers like this. It was something indicative to Hickory Hollow Mall in Antioch, Tennessee. Mall moms who go there with a cluster of kids and go eat at this really nice restaurant that has nothing on it for a child, and then just destroy the section. And it would take us 30 minutes to clean the table up. And you had 4 tables like that.
No pressure, though, on this kind of job at all.
Right. And you're constantly under pressure, and you want to give everybody good service. And you have people like this.
I've seen adults be just as messy.
Who make it just as hard as they can be. And that's the pressure cooker you're in. Because America insists that dining out is a right and not a privilege.
Right.
And that everyone should be able to afford it. Well, everyone who can afford it should be able to dine out anytime they want. If you're not rich, you can't afford that though. You need to be eating tuna fish sandwiches at home. But you have this mentality of people coming in the restaurant that because they don't have much money or because they have a lot of money, think that either one gives them the right to boss around and ridicule and argue and yell. And I can tell you right now, there's nothing that will ever happen in the customer service exchange that gives a customer the right to yell at someone providing the customer service.
251-343-0106 is the call and text line. Would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Therapy sessions.
Therapy sessions. I think it's everything.
Neon lights while the bartender listens.
Imagine working for a local and collaborative company. FM Talk 106.5 is
Yeah, I think the same print pressure as Nancy for me.
Email your resume to info@fmtalk1065.com. Broadcast LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Got the news about
FM Talk 106.5.
like
Gulf
the
Coast
musicians
Weather Authority
and
and
book
Dr. Bill
writers,
Williams.
authors, and,
Gulf Coast will affect
you know,
most of
it's
these
just,
guys
when's the
today
next
with a
big
few
project?
afternoon
You know,
showers and
it-
thunderstorms. High temperatures will
It's
be
I
in the
don't know.
mid-90s.
Anthony boy,
Mostly clear, low
all it is
to
is money for them.
mid-70s.
That's why.
And tomorrow,
Yeah.
sunny skies,
I-
with highs in the upper 90s. This is meteorologist Dr. Bill
I
Williams
see him
for
more of
FM
a
Talk 106.5.
lonely person.
FM Talk 106.5.
I always
The Gulf
viewed
Coast
him,
Weather
thought he
Authority.
was like,
Enjoy sunsets
He's
and
got all
live
this
music
fame,
this summer at Dolphin
and
Island
then
for the
I'm
Sunday
telling
Sunset
Sue,
concerts
you know,
and
you get all
historic
that,
games. This weekend,
kinda
it's
wanted
French
that.
and the
and
terrible
you step
True
into
Late
the
$20
life
per
like
person,
that.
free for kids 12 and under. Download the Dolphin Island app for more info. Dolphin
Without
Island,
people.
the sunset capital of
Well, look
Alabama.
at the
Mom and
you
you.
look
Baldwin
at the
EMC
superstar like
provides
Michael
school
Jackson.
supplies to local children in
How
need. Our
can you
supplies
go
for
from
success
even
school
your
supply
apartment?
drive will spark
Because I just
curiosity
want to get a
and
blizzard.
fuel confidence as they return to
No,
school.
who's gonna happen?
Drop
You
off
know.
supplies July
I just want
1st
to hold
through
the
July
baby over a
31st
rail.
at any Baldwin EMC location or at
But
the
I
Work
think,
Store in Orange Beach.
you know,
Baldwin EMC's
there's
Supplies
a
for
big
Success
platform
School
on
Supply
Ellis
Drive, coming
Timber.
together to help children succeed in the classroom. Visit
And you're
baldwinemc.com for more
And he's
information.
just
Mobile's such a
tired.
great place. I've had
Just
such
white.
great memories growing up here.
The
I didn't grow
people-
up here, but I sure
people,
do have some
You
great
know, I
memories
made this
too.
and I
Hey,
think
you
I
remember when
want
we had
this
the
out of you.
Mystics?
You
Yeah,
know,
and I remember when we had the
you
Big
know,
Bears.
let them
I
sing
even
songs.
remember
Well,
the
he's the one that we're
Sharks.
singing
Man,
this song.
you
We think
are
greatest.
old.
They just don't get it.
That monkey
You
attacked
know,
that lady
they
at the
see
coffee
their
shop.
side.
Yeah.
but
Do you remember when
We've
there
talked
wasn't so
about it
much
before.
traffic on the
On
freeway?
food, you know, you come in and
No.
and
Remember when the
why don't
Dewdrop
you
hot
serve
dog was
chicken?
less than
Oh,
$1
I don't know.
a
It's a
quart?
steak
I also remember
restaurant,
when
Scooter.
you get
You
a
know,
newspaper every day for 50 cents. So that's pretty easy to remember since you
I
still
can't
can.
help but you
What are you
didn't read the
talking about?
sign.
There's no daily
Oh, man, I
newspaper
tell you,
anymore.
as a
Sure there is.
restaurateur,
Lanyap Daily. It's online
one of
at
the worst things
lanyapmobile.com,
ever
and
here
they're
is,
breaking
you know what
local
you need
news
on
all
your
day
menu?
long every day. The best part,
No, I don't.
it's only 30
You
cents a
want
day.
that on the
So
menu,
you read
open a
Lanyap
restaurant.
Daily?
young
Absolutely.
restaurant.
There's
Yep.
tons
We
of
used to have
local
people
news there
break
every
pit
day.
come in and
Where do you
say,
think I heard about
women
the monkey?
mainly,
You
do you
know,
have
you'd have to
vegan
remember to sign
options?
up for Lanyap Daily.
Go
Lanyap
next
Daily.
door.
More stories that
We-
shape our
we-
city
we
every
don't
day.
carry
Lanyap
vegan
Daily.
options. This is
More
a
than something.
Vegan
vegan
should only
barbecue.
be vegan
guy.
restaurant.
Hello again, friends.
Last
Rainier
night,
here,
somebody
inviting you
posted
to
on the
join me,
foodie
Coach
site
Ben
that,
Cleveland, and Coach
are there any
Lloyd
really
Lashley
good
for the
vegan
Thomas
restaurants in
Track
Mobile?
Sports
After
Report.
2
We'll
hours,
be coming
no
to you
one
live
answered.
from the
I
Eastern
started
Shore
to put
Toyota
crickets.
Hyundai Studios for 2 hours.
Or
from
Any
8 a.m. every
Indian
Saturday morning.
restaurant.
We'll visit with coaches,
Yeah.
athletes,
If you're a vegan, you
administrators,
know
and more as we'll keep you up
Most
to date on all
of
things shrimp
India's
along the Gulf
cuisine
Coast and the state
is
of Alabama.
vegan, or at
Wake
least
up with the
vegetarian.
Prince Sports
At
Report
least
team
mainly
this Saturday
vegetarian.
morning
Yeah,
starting at 8
but
a.m.
the
right
answer
here
is no,
on
there are no
FM Talk
good
106.5.
vegan restaurants in Mobile. There's a
To
good
get on the
vegan
line,
restaurant.
call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
All right, so to pick up where we just left off.
Yes.
With all the complaining about all, what I'm doing is just trying to give you that capsulation of that part of the job where you're constantly under pressure. Someone's constantly asking more out of you than the money they've paid or what you're capable of doing or the money they're willing to pay you.
Mhm.
That's the pressure cooker.
Consider the perspective.
Right. Not all of the job is like that. Certainly, Jeremiah posted, Jeremiah Matthews, who wonderful restaurant, Southwood Kitchen in Daphne, posted on Chris Sherrill's post sharing this article that, you know, the good thing, the best drug is nice like he had last night where it was banging and you handled it.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the greatest feelings in the world, is to be absolutely blown away with business and to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And
people
to
are
churn
great.
it, yeah, and to churn it out, man. That's what
It's a great-
brings us back into the
Great
kitchen.
adrenaline.
Right, that's our reward.
Dopamine.
But no matter how much you love a job, and my father had a tremendous passion for law enforcement. He felt neglected a bit as a child from his parents. He was the product of divorce in the 1940s, which was unheard of,
Mhm.
and it seemed like neither parent wanted him around until he was old enough to have a job and pay money. And he was actually raised by my Uncle Ack. And that made him want to be someone who helped other people. It turned him into a wonderful father who loved his kids unconditionally
A servant.
and supported us. Right. And he went in the Air Force first, decided that air traffic controller was too stressful, so he became a cop. And he said, yes, law enforcement nowhere near as stressful as air traffic control.
No.
And but after 25 years of it, the passion was gone. Now it's just a job, and one that really, really stinks. When you get past the things that you enjoy about something, and you're going to get there. I envy anyone who's in the same business for 40 years and still has a passion for it. Because my passion is long line. I don't enjoy getting on the line. I enjoy the creative aspects on the other side of the line, expediting, making sure that everything comes together. I still enjoy all of that. But just cooking on the line is a job to me now. After 40 years in this industry, I think I'm entitled to burnout.
I was about to say, the word you're looking for, there's burnout.
It's burnout. And that's why so many chefs go into the other side of the food industry, like Chris Sherrill.
Yeah, Chris went into sales and to get his quality of life. And Mike and I were talking on the drive-in that some chefs don't seem to have a problem with it. And he named off a few locally and a few that most people have known, Guy Fieri, Panini Pete. And I pointed out that what they have is a family to go home to. That support base of a spouse, of children, a normal life. Most of us in this industry don't get a normal life because it's hard to get a normal life when you work from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 2 o'clock the next morning.
Right.
When you work every single weekend, when you work every single holiday. Let me remind you, there's no holiday pay for working Christmas Day in the restaurant industry. You get paid the same. Same with Thanksgiving Day. You're just out of it. In corporate restaurants are worse because local restaurants understand if I'm by the beach, I'm open Memorial Day and Labor Day. If I'm not by the beach, there's no point in being open because everybody's at the beach. But chain restaurants, they know they're going to be dead, but yet we're going to be fully staffed because I own the chain. I'm not the one that actually has to get up on a holiday and go in and cook for somebody.
Yeah. Well, they're going to make a profit regardless. It's
Right.
their idea.
They're making their money without having to earn that money.
Right.
On that respect. They've earned it in other ways through investments and risks that they take. And I understand all of that, but they're not physically earning it.
Right.
And they don't have to feel what it's like to go in to kiss your family goodbye and go in every holiday. I get it when you're a cop, healthcare, those people have got to be there. We all depend on them. And we don't pay them enough either. So that's the pressure cooker that you find yourself in. A lot of people, the outlet is some kind of vice. Most people it's drinking, some people it's drugs, some people it may be gambling.
Right.
I have been lucky to avoid some of that, most of that. I've dabbled, but I've always had this thing of I won't go near anything that's addictive. I made my mind up to that when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
I don't play with anything that's addictive. It's one of the reasons I don't drink very much because alcohol is incredibly addictive. Extremely. It is the most dangerous drug on planet Earth. That's according to the World Health Organization. Does more damage than anything, cocaine, crack, heroin, any of it.
Agreed.
It is the worst drug on the planet. It's also delicious and it makes you feel good. And I get it. I love the taste of alcohol and I love the effects. So I was never one to go just get crazy drunk after a shift.
But
I've never tried cocaine. I never want to try cocaine.
Me neither.
My issue is I don't want anything that's going up my nose. And I find that I will not take after a spray no matter how clogged up I am. I don't want anything going in my nose. It took everything I could not to punch the doctor that checked me for COVID. Because I hate anything going up my nose.
A little swab.
Yeah. I don't. So cocaine was never going to be any kind of temptation to me.
How far are you going up, Doc?
Till I hit your ankle. But that you have to get relief from it. And people that have other stressful jobs understand as well. And they get home and they might unwind with a glass of wine or something like that. But when the pressure is nonstop, and
what do you do?
And the regular people who have normal careers are not working 12 hours a day. And they're not doing it all on their feet.
Or 14, 18 hours a day. Plus you've got agents, plus you've got television producers, plus you've got all this that, you have to take that into consideration for her writers and producers and expectations of publishers. And oh my gosh.
The perfect parallel in the entertainment industry to the restaurant industry is the actors get paid all the money, but the writers create all the art. Well, in the restaurant industry, the servers make all the money. The cooks create all the art.
Yeah.
The servers make far more money than the cooks do. It's not even close. They make in a day what a cook makes in a week in most places.
Now, and that kind of raises a quick question for me is how much the owner take?
That
If they make money.
Yeah, if they make money, they get 10%
Okay.
of everything. That's the most profitable restaurants in the world, or in the U.S. Restaurants in other countries don't have problems with it because people understand that eating out is not a right. Chain restaurants have artificially deflated prices. Food at a restaurant, I've said this before, is nowhere near as expensive as it should be.
Sure.
It should be 4 to 5 times as expensive. A Happy Meal should be $35.
That's a scary thought.
If it keeps up with the cost of living of everything else, that's where the prices should be.
I won't be so happy though.
Yeah, but where they continue, because you had places like McDonald's with 5,000 locations that the mom and pop now has to compete against. Now mom and pop has to match that price point.
Right.
So I've pointed this out to a lot of people. Half the stuff on a menu is sold at a loss. A steak dinner at O'Charlie's costs more to put it on your plate, on your table, than you're paying for it. They're counting on you purchasing other things, alcohol, dessert, appetizers, to balance it out. No other industry does that. There's nothing except milk that Walmart sells at a loss. Milk they sell at a loss because everything that goes with that milk, they jack the price up on. But they know mom and dad are coming in to buy the milk. So a gallon of milk costs less to you than it costs Walmart. Everything else, they make insane profit off of. And I've used the analogy before in a restaurant, if you pay $10 for a sandwich, the restaurant makes $1. If you buy $10 worth of socks at Walmart, they make $9.90 off of it.
Wow.
That's the difference between other retail and what a sit-down restaurant costs. And to keep it like that, that means you can't pay your employees. Every restaurant should have a set amount of cooks. There should be enough cooks so that someone is there to spot all the other cooks for their breaks. It should just be, and this is the way it was when I started at the Shoney's on Airport Boulevard. Someone would come up to me, tap me on the shoulder, and go, "It's time for your break. I got this." That hasn't been done in 35 years.
Wow.
That has been eliminated. The managers, if there's supposed to be 5 managers, they're going to run it on 4. Because the owner of that company, who has millions, thinks that $36,000 for that one extra manager is better spent in his pocket. So managers don't often get breaks either. It's not like, some people in the restaurant get breaks and others don't, depending on where you work. Nobody gets breaks. You work through it all. And that's the stress that leads up to what took Anthony Bourdain from us. And Humaro Canto was a wonderful chef in Chicago that I had some interactions with, that this is the same thing, the stress. And he was doing the molecular biology where every single meal to keep your restaurant going had to blow people's mind who are used to paying $300 a person for a meal.
Well, I think we could go a little deeper in the stress of this. It's, there's the argument of folks will say things like, well, they have the choice. They can take off anytime they'd like. I got news for you. Again, when you've got a contract, again, from an agent, you've got a contract from a television show or anything else of that nature, guess what? Yeah, you had a choice to sign that contract, but you may not have realized exactly what you were getting into.
Yeah.
Let's just face the facts that this is a kind of a deceptive industry.
Yeah, and the other side of it is as I've said with the restaurant industry, you don't get your breaks, you don't get your lunches, you don't get any of those. They just ignore it.
Right.
No one's there to enforce it.
Right.
So your contract is one way. Most contracts are one way.
Yeah, the contract is written for the owner.
But I've reached, I have reached a point in this where when I go to a job interview, I'm not the only one being interviewed.
Right.
I'm in a position now where I can interview the owner and see if you're worthy of me working for you.
Exactly. That's the way it should be. It should be both ways.
Yeah, because I can make or break your restaurant, but you can only break it. You need a chef. Unless you are a chef running a restaurant, you need a chef to run your restaurant. If you're going to be on the big end of things, if you're just doing a diner where it's pretty much the same thing everyone else is doing, but you're just doing your spin on it, you don't need a chef. You need a kitchen manager. But if you're going to create, you're going to be innovative, you need a chef. And that chef is the face of your business. You need to get, because Mike and I know a chef here who lost her job simply because people respected her. The owner got jealous and fired her.
Wow.
Simply because everyone came in and bragged about how good she was. And the owner, who never got in the kitchen, and created and worked on menu items was jealous of the attention. Well, that's our job. Your job as the owner is to be the money.
That's crazy.
Our job as the chef is to be the face of the restaurant. And that's what you want a chef for. And Mobile has been slow to come to this area.
251-343-0106 is the call and text in line.
Michael has a text.
Okay.
Don't miss the Mobile Chamber Business Expo presented by Southern View Media, August 14th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Mobile Convention Center. Tickets $5 with your business card. Mobile Chamber Business Expo. See you there.
For more than 50 years, Mobile Bay Magazine has showcased the history, style, arts, dining, and entertainment
do with
that defines
leftover,
experts on both sides of Mobile Bay. Each month's issue is filled with our unique Southern Alabama culture, beautifully captured and told through engaging articles and stunning photography. When you subscribe to Mobile Bay Magazine, you'll be swept into the pages with recipes, familiar places, and faces, and untold stories about. Start your journey today by visiting mobilebaymag.com. That's mobilebaymag.com.
By your
Maybe a little
fashion,
bit
I'd
of-
like to thank
Keep
you
in
for
mind,
those
the
considered
cheese sauce
front
is usually
line
gonna
to
break
make our
the score.
community safe. Giving up time with your families, working in
New
difficult
picture in the
conditions,
microwave,
giving up
pour
your
stuff on
weekends
top
and
of it.
holidays. We serve and protect others.
Coffee and
We remember
sausage.
it's the land of the
So
free
little
because of
corn,
our
Insurance
man,
policy
turn
forms and
into a
availability vary by
Not a
state.
salsa,
Did you know
but
life insurance rates are near record
Mexican
lows?
dish.
If you own life
Tex-Mex.
insurance or if you're thinking of
I do.
buying any, why spend more than you have to? Since 1986, AccuQuote has helped
Yeah, a couple of
literally
comments
millions
here
of
on that.
people just like
Text,
you save a fortune on their life insurance. Here's how they do it. They monitor the products offered by dozens of the most well-respected brand name life insurance companies you trust so that you get the lowest rates. For example, a healthy 40-year-old can buy $500,000 of 10-year level term for less than $20 a month. 20 and 30-year rates are also available. Don't forget to ask them about the new term life plans that guarantee your money back even if you outlive your policy. Take 5 minutes and call AccuQuote for your free quote. Call 1-800-318-1787. Find out how much you can save on your life insurance. Call AccuQuote today at 1-800-318-1787. That's 1-800-318-1787.
Municipal elections are August 26th, and FM Talk 106.5 advises that you don't vote until you listen to election coverage with FM Talk 106.5. Local elections impact your home harder than federal ones. So listen to the local leaders who will be impacting our everyday life. Don't vote until you're informed on what matters most. Local election coverage. Turning up your voice. FM Talk
Did you see Simon's
106.5.
Yeah.
To get on the line, call 343-0106. Now
He
back to
stabilized
Mike and Stu.
Hey, let's give a shout out. Let's give a birthday shout out to our one and only right here.
That Apple MacBook?
No, Steve.
Oh, okay, the human. Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Steve here, and a belated birthday.
Thank you. Well, it's in the middle of the week.
Yeah, I know. Belated birthday, and just like another person I know, Ray Lambert, him and his wife used to have Winslow Bay steamer, which was a huge favorite, favorite in downtown Fairhope for the longest time.
Yep.
So
Was there one in Gulf Shores as well?
yeah, it was. It was a different owner, and
Okay.
she helped him set up the steamer, which I think is still there.
Yep.
They just changed the name from what it was to the steamer. I do believe, and you couldn't get anything fried in there when it was Winslow's Old Bay steamer downtown. You couldn't get anything fried, nothing, because it all came steamed.
I had steamed crab legs for my birthday, buddy.
Really? Where'd you get that at?
You would. My brain just went blank on it. K&D.
Did you?
Who?
K&D Seafood.
Where's that at? Oh,
It's out
Pensacola.
on 90.
Pensacola?
No, out on 90 here, Government. Right in front of it used to be a Cinemark.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It used to be the Applebee's.
Oh, yeah, the old Apple.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
I like me some crab, some good snow crab.
I never looked that way when it was an
They
Applebee's
used to be
forever.
right. They used to be right there on Azalea
Mhm.
by the Jamaican restaurant where we went for
Yeah.
pot, in that area.
Yeah.
So By the way, Dan and Sam says, good morning, guys. I just, gotta get the right text up here. I just did something I never thought I would be able to do. I bought beer before 12 o'clock on Sunday. The convenience store close to me recently started selling at 10 a.m. I guess the county changed the rules. This is in Sam's.
Oh, thanks. You just ratted them out. Don't tell them the address.
They didn't show that.
Could have very likely be they had a new employee didn't know what
In
was
city, in the
Oops. It
city,
tells both on Dan
in
and
the city, you can't unless you're a restaurant.
Yeah.
In the city of Mobile, I don't know about city of Sims or.
Yeah, maybe a city of Sims ordinance that allows that.
Yeah.
And if so, way to go, Brandon.
All right.
Way to go,
Like
Sam.
it.
What we need to do is get rid of any laws that prohibit a time we're out there because
Way to
we don't
go,
do that with any other product.
way to go, city of Sims. If they changed it there. I know in
And we
Baldwin
about to have
County,
us a Wawa come Thursday.
and come
Yeah.
and
It's a good
Bald-
meatball sub.
Baldwin County, you can buy alcohol anytime.
Yeah, because
Anytime.
it's amazing for a state whose motto is we dare defend our rights. We have fewer civil rights in Alabama than any other state. We have all just voluntarily thrown them away.
Well,
The state with the most civil rights, by the way, still intact, New Hampshire.
okay. Michael says, I've wondered why members only restaurants, kind of going back to what we've been talking about most of the show. I've wondered why my members of only restaurants, kind of like country clubs, haven't become popular again. I wouldn't definitely cut down the craziness, or it would definitely cut down the craziness that you see becoming so common.
Mobile is not a members only kind of community. Mobile doesn't like to buy tickets beforehand anything. They just want to do everything spur of the moment. And you can't make money off of members only kind of thing in it, especially with a population.
There is one over in Faro.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It used to be, it used to be right down from the Grand Hotel, and it had a fire a couple of years ago, and they took over the Delta grocery store. Delta grocery there in I think Barnwell, and so that's part of the Cooper stuff. It's all private. It's a private restaurant, and
it takes money to be.
You have to be
a member of one.
You have to have some money, so but money.
Mobile is it's very laid back. It's why festivals struggle because they never know if people are going to show up or not. Nobody wants to buy
last minute.
And that's why I tell everyone, don't ever get mad if you go to a food cook-off or festival. The last hour they're open and they're out of food. They're not supposed to have food all the way to the end.
That's right.
Yeah.
The idea is to run out.
Yeah, to run out and leave early because you're not getting paid for any of that. That's just part of that other stuff you do in the restaurant industry on top of everything else. And there's no extra pay for that. It's just extra stuff you got to do. And then with most of these food cook-offs requiring these ridiculous entry fees. If bad enough, you want me to donate.
Is that to cover those costs?
It's to cover their costs, not your costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can
they're guaranteed to make money whether anybody shows up to the festival.
You recoup yours if you sell. Some of them are you sell each team that enters. They pay their fee, but they get tickets to sell to recoup that.
Which is then the restaurant doing the festival's job for.
But you still have got to buy your stuff to compete.
Yeah. They ask you to do the work for free, donate all the food, and now they want you to pay $500 for the right to donate all the food and all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. $50 entry fee, I'm okay with that. $500, you're making money off the contestants, and that's not the way it's supposed to happen. You make your money off the ticket sales.
I used to get upset a bit in the wine business, the beverage business. You're going in there to give away your product for free, to give samples, but like the Taste of Mobile and other things like that, and they make you pay for the parking.
Yeah.
I'm coming to give my stuff away free.
Yeah.
They'll at least have the parking covered for me. Here's your parking pass. You're going to be coming in giving away free stuff. Here's your parking pass.
Yeah.
It's only $5, but it's
the worst least you could do.
Yeah, it's only $5. I'm gonna give away $200 or $300 or $400 worth of product.
Right.
Coming off my bottom line, and at least cover my parking.
Yeah. Don't make me pay for it. So let's brighten things up for a minute.
Yeah, let's do that.
our good buddy Simon Majumdar. I don't think he's been on the show since Steve's been producing it. I'll see if we can flip that around. Usually calls in from out in LA. Most people know him as the bald British judge from Iron Chef. And, yeah, and he's a very good friend of mine. And Mike has had the chance to get good friends with him. He announced that he had come down with oligo, which is short for the long name for the form of brain cancer that he is stricken with. Reported today or this week that things are going well.
Oh, good.
The prayers are working, the kindness. He's seeing his doctors like he's supposed to, and he's still having a great life. Look at that grin. Look at that.
I'll say that's a great grin. Yeah. That's a great grin.
Yeah. And Simon and I became friends via the internet. Somehow he went on Twitter and saw a post I'd made about my mother passing away. And it was 5 years almost to the day that his mother had passed away. Wow. And he read the article and then retweeted it, which did a lot for my writing career, and saying that he would be, because I included in the article was my mother's biscuits. And he said he would be making Shirley's biscuits that night for his wife. And
very cool.
And then my father passed before his father passed. And then I got to return the friendship and go, I've been through this part, let me help you through. And Simon's whole world, when his mother passed, he was another guy that was in a high stress industry where he worked all the time and had no home life. He was a big time publisher in London, working in one of the big publishing houses. And he said his entire career had evolved into one screaming contest to another all day long. When his mother passed, it made him reevaluate things. He found an old notebook from his high school days, and the last page he had written in it, "Go everywhere, eat everything." And he called the publishing house and resigned immediately.
Wow.
And he spent the next 2 years traveling the world.
There you go.
That's the way you do it.
Then wrote a book about it. The book was a bestseller. Then London Food Network comes to him, says, let's do Iron Chef. And then America said, we're doing next Iron Chef. They brought him on. And then
there you go. Folks, get up there, support local. Be local, buy local.
Be kind to the restaurant workers. Y'all were suicidal.
Please. Yeah, I wish you had said.
Yeah, well, some are. Some
Now
are.
you make me laugh.
But yeah, remember that. Some
All
people are.
And if you don't do anything else,
buy them some provolone.
Shut up, baby. That'll be perfect. That's why.
When I posted in the foodies group, and I put on there that, I